Okay, let's go back to plan view. It's a little bit clearer, or excuse me, and we can take a look at this. We're going to pull out of this drawing, we're going to pull out this track. We're going to pull out the half track and this little piece of metal stud here so that we can build our own mock-up wall. And we'll work in 3D view just like we did before. Let's go ahead and partially explode this so we can grab some of these elements. I can grab that easily. So I'll highlight that and copy it and move it out. Go ahead and partially explode that and delete out the elements that we don't want. And that's still part of a symbol, so we're gonna still partially explode that out again. And we lose a lot of our fillets in that one. And I'm not sure if we could, but now we're down the line elements. So I'm going to go actually do some modifications here. We're going to actually simplify this a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and pull out parts and pieces. I'm going to leave that actually in a minute because what I want to do is, oops, I'm going to go to a plan view. We'll zoom in on this now. And I'm just going to make a model line here that indicates an idea of symmetry over that center of that track. And let's go ahead and get rid of this half of the track. We'll get rid of some of these other elements here. Oops, I need that base surface. I need this surface. So I can get rid of this. And you'll see really quickly here, all I'm doing is just trying to simplify this element down a bit. I want to keep, I'm not sure that's in the right spot. I took one too many lines out here. And for those of you that are really good with, doing this type of technique, you can, of course, go ahead and move through the videos a little bit faster. We're really just building all these components up. So now I'm going to go ahead and join all of these surfaces together. Now that we've gotten rid of the fillets that were there. And when they're all joined, what I'm going to do is now mirror that on our model line that I created. And we get rid of that now. And then back to joining these up. We're going to get rid of that one. We don't need it. Okay, so now we have our facsimile of our track system. I'm going to go ahead and copy that because we're going to use it to make our extrusion. I'll zoom out. I hope I may have missed that filleting there. So we'll catch that when we go to make this into an extrusion. So we'll go to component, model in place, generic model, extrusion. I'll paste that. We know we got some problems with this, so I'm going to go ahead and close these fillets up. I think I've got it. And we have an extrusion. We'll make that 5 feet long because it's a significant length of track that we're going to be using. All right, so we've got our our track. We need our half track and we need our steel stud now. So go ahead and keep moving along here. I'm going to try and pick out the stud. That partially exploded very nicely. We'll copy that. We'll go ahead now and make another component. Oops. Oops, I didn't say to extrude, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And I'm going to go create an extrusion. And now I'm going to go ahead and paste it again. And I think that was pretty clean, so I think it'll just extrude out very nicely. And we'll make it 5 feet long. And we have one other element now, and that's that half track. And you can see that's because I got to finish out the other construction of the model before that'll highlight. So I'll just grab that, copy it over. Partially explode that. We'll get rid of the, I'll go ahead and partially explode that again. And we'll get rid of just a little bit of this extra detail here. Those lines are probably not showing up very nicely on your screen. My apologies. And all I'm doing now is just joining these lines so that we'll have a nice extrusion. We got one extra line in there that I'm going to need to break out and delete. And I think that does it. So grab all of that and we'll copy it. And then once again, we're going to go ahead and model in place. I'm always using generic model. We could change that later on if we get sophisticated about what we want to call components. And then I'm going to go ahead and paste that in as an extrusion that we want to make. And we'll make it long because it's a long element. And that's that half track then allows you to have a clip to support a tile without another tile on the other side of it, as if you were in a window condition. Anyway, so I wanted to go through and just quickly extrude out all of the parts and pieces. So we had all the components. So now we have track system. We can make a wall. We can put the 2 pieces of track on the face of the Z-girt and then simulate the clip and the tile being held in place. So that's a good place to stop. The next thing we'll do is we'll jump in and we'll grab each one of these separate elements and make them into family elements so we can easily modify them, create parameters for them, and reuse them.